A buddy of mine takes his Ram 1500 in for its 60,000-mile service. He asks the dealership if the transmission fluid needs changing. They tell him no, it is lifetime fluid, do not worry about it. 18 months later, that same transmission grenades on the highway at 70 miles per hour. The dealer quotes him $4,800 for a rebuild. Same fluid they told him not to touch? It came out looking like chocolate milk. 10 mistakes like that one are killing Ram transmissions every single day, and your dealership will not warn you about any of them. Now, real quick, your Ram has one of two transmissions. If you drive a 1500, you have the ZF 8-speed. If you drive a 2500 or a 3500, you have what is called the 68 RFE. They are different designs with different weak points, but a lot of the same bad habits destroy both of them. I will tell you which truck each tip applies to as we go. Number 1. Putting the wrong fluid in your transmission. This one trips up owners, mechanics, and even some dealerships. Your 1500 and your 2500 use completely different transmission fluids, and pouring in the wrong one causes real damage. If you have a 2500 or a 3500, the fluid you need is ATF plus 4. That is a full synthetic with friction modifiers designed exclusively for Chrysler transmissions. Pour generic ATF, Dexron, or Mercon in there and you will get immediate torque converter shudder, harsh shifts, and accelerated clutch wear inside the bell housing. And if someone already put the wrong stuff in, you cannot just top it off with the right fluid. You need 3 full drain and fill cycles with ATF plus 4 to flush the old stuff out of the system. If you have a 1500 with the 8-speed, you need ZF Lifeguard Fluid 8 or the Mopar 8 and 9-speed ATF. Completely different stuff. The 8-speed uses a very thin, low viscosity fluid because the torque converter runs with a continuous microslip to dampen vibrations. Put ATF plus 4 in there and that smooth slip turns into a violent shudder you can feel through the entire cab. Lifeguard costs about $16 to $30 a quart. A TF plus 4 runs $6 to $12 a quart. That price gap tempts some shops to grab the cheaper bottle. Do not let them. Wrong fluid in either truck is a ticking time bomb under your floorboards. And fluid is only half the equation. What you do while driving matters just as much. Number 2. Towing without tow haul mode. Every Ram has a tow haul button on the steering column, and way too many owners never touch it. Some think it is only for heavy loads. Others think it wears out the transmission faster. Both are wrong. When you press that button, the transmission holds lower gears longer, firms up shift pressure, gives you engine braking on hills, and locks out the top overdrive gears. That last part is the big one. The overdrive clutch pack in the 2500 and 3500 is the #1 failure point of that entire transmission. Those friction plates are only 0.034 inches thick. They are among the thinnest in any production truck. The overdrive housing itself flexes under heavy load. Without tow haul, those clutches take a beating from constant gear hunting. The transmission shifts into overdrive, gets loaded, drops back out, and hunts back up. Every cycle grinds material off those plates and dumps heat into the fluid. A lot of experienced Ram heavy-duty guys go even further. They lock out 6th gear entirely when towing, and some lock out 5th gear too. They would rather run a little higher RPM and have a transmission that lasts 200,000 miles than save a few bucks on fuel and blow the overdrive clutches at 60,000. For 1500 owners, TOU haul stops the constant shuffling between tightly spaced gear ratios. Your transmission actually runs cooler despite higher engine speed because you have cut out all the unnecessary shift cycles. Now, that gear hunting creates heat, but there is a factory part in the heavy-duty trucks that makes the heat problem 10 times worse. Number 3. Shifting between drive and reverse before fully stopping. We've all done this one. Backing out of a spot, the truck is still creeping backward, and you click it into drive a little early. It feels harmless. It is not. When you switch directions while rolling, the transmission has to instantly reverse everything inside: the planetary gears, the bushings, the needle bearings. None of that is built for sudden impact loading. On something as heavy as a 2,500 truck with a full bed and a trailer behind it, those shock loads add up fast. Do it once, probably fine. Do it thousands of times over the life of the truck, and you are grinding away at parts that cost thousands to replace. Above 5 miles per hour, the risk of immediate catastrophic failure inside the gear case jumps way up. Just wait the extra second, full stop, then shift. For 1,500 owners with the rotary dial shifter, here is an extra reason to pay attention. That dial sits right next to the climate controls, and it is surprisingly easy to bump it into the wrong gear. Federal safety regulators received over 1,400 rollaway complaints about that shifter, which is why newer Rams automatically shift into park when you open the driver's door. Always use your parking brake regardless. This next one is a $100 fix that prevents a $7,000 rebuild. Number 4, ignoring the thermal bypass valve on the HD trucks. 2,500 and 3,500 owners, this might be the most important thing in this entire video. Your transmission has a factory thermal bypass valve that is supposed to keep fluid away from the cooler until it warms up. Fine in theory, terrible in practice. That valve chokes off cooler flow by up to 87% even when it is working correctly. And when it sticks closed, which happens all the time, your cooler gets bypassed completely. Zero cooling. The fluid just recirculates, getting hotter and hotter with nowhere to shed that heat. Guys who tow with these trucks have seen fluid temperatures hit 250 to 270 degrees Fahrenheit with a stuck valve. Normal should be 170 to 180 degrees. For every 20 degrees above that, your ATF life gets cut in half. At 300 degrees, your transmission is basically cooking itself from the inside out. The fix is a billet aluminum bypass eliminator from RevMax or BD Diesel. About $100 to $135. Installs in under an hour. One guy on the Ram forums went from running 200 degrees plus while towing his fifth wheel down to 140 degrees after the install. That is the difference between a transmission that lasts and one that ends up in a dumpster behind a shop. If you tow anything with your HD Ram, this is the best money you will ever spend on your truck. But even a cool running transmission can be destroyed in seconds if you do this next one. Number 5, doing a neutral drop or power braking. A neutral drop is when you rev the engine in neutral and slam it into drive to launch the truck. Sounds fun until you hear what happens inside. The torque converter impeller is spinning at high revolutions per minute while every gear and output component is dead still. When drive engages, all that energy slams into stationary parts. One transmission shop told me they have seen trucks come apart from a single neutral drop. Not gradual wear, immediate. Cracked bearings, stripped teeth, burned clutch packs. Thousands of dollars of damage from one bad decision in a parking lot. Power braking is the same family of stupid. You hold the brake while revving in drive, then let go. While that brake is held, the torque converter is generating insane heat because the impeller spins, but the turbine cannot move. Fluid temperatures inside the converter can spike past 300 degrees Fahrenheit in seconds. Seals melt, internals varnish, and you have just created a $4,000 to $8,000 problem that did not exist 30 seconds ago. And no, the warranty will not cover it. Any technician can tell from the damage pattern exactly what happened. Now this next one is a mistake where the dealership is actually sitting on the fix and not telling you about it. Number 6, skipping the free software updates on the 1500. If you are getting value from this so far, hit subscribe. We put out RAM maintenance tips every week that will save you real money at the shop. Now, if you own a 2013 through 2018 RAM 1500, you probably know the harsh downshift problem. You are coasting up to a red light, and around 10 to 15 miles per hour, the transmission jolts you like someone tapped your rear bumper. That is the 2-to-1 downshift. It has been the biggest complaint about the 8-speed since day one. Here is where it gets frustrating. Chrysler has released multiple TCM software updates that specifically fix this. A free reflash at the dealership takes about 30 minutes, but they will never call you about it. You have to walk in and ask. I have talked to guys who spent thousands swapping valve bodies and even entire transmissions for what turned out to be a free software fix. One thing to know after a reflash: the transmission has to relearn your driving habits through an adaptation process. Shifts will be rough for the first couple hundred miles. That is completely normal. Give it up to 500 miles of mixed driving before you judge the results. Before you approve any expensive mechanical work for shifting problems on a 1500, always make sure every available software update has been applied first. Number 7. Driving hard in cold weather without warming up. Cold ATF is thick and does not flow well through the valve body passages, around the solenoids, or through the cooler lines. That means poor lubrication, harsh engagement, and metal-on-metal wear during those first few minutes of driving on a freezing morning. Think of it like trying to squeeze honey through a straw. That is what your transmission is dealing with when you slam it into drive at 5 degrees and hit the gas. If you live somewhere that drops below freezing, give the truck 1 to 2 minutes at idle before you put it in drive. Below zero, a little more. Some owners cycle through each gear while sitting still, park to reverse to neutral, to drive and back, just to push fluid into different parts of the transmission before hitting the road. Then be easy for the first few miles. No hard acceleration, no towing, no highway merging until everything is up to temperature. 1500 owners with the rotary dial, heads up. Multiple guys on the forums have reported that dial refusing to engage gears below about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The service shifter warning lights up the dashboard and the truck will not move. It usually clears up once the cab warms up, but it is worth knowing about if you park outside in the winter. All of those cold starts AD up. And they add up even faster when the fluid inside that transmission has never been changed. Number 8. Never changing the transmission fluid. We covered this one in detail in a previous video, so I will keep it brief. Your owner's manual might call the factory fill lifetime fluid. The company that built the 8-speed transmission in the 1500 says to change it every 50,000 to 75,000 miles. For the heavy-duty trucks, specialists recommend 30,000 to 50,000 miles, and more often if you tow. A fluid service costs a couple $100. Skipping it costs you the whole transmission. Watch our full video if you want the deep dive. Now let's talk about a mistake that catches RV owners completely off guard. Number 9. Flat towing a Ram the wrong way. Two-wheel drive Rams cannot be flat towed behind a motorhome. With the engine off, the transmission pump is not running. The wheels spinning on the ground are turning internal components with zero fluid circulation. Seals melt within minutes. Bearings seize from metal-on-metal contact, and you are looking at a full replacement before you even reach the campground. I have seen forum posts from guys who destroyed a brand new transmission in under 20 miles of flat towing. 20 miles. Four-wheel drive Rams can be flat towed, but only with the transfer case shifted into neutral, not the transmission neutral. There is a specific step-by-step procedure, and getting any of it wrong kills the transmission or the transfer case or both. That bill hits $6,000 to $10,000 easy. Check your specific model year owner's manual before hooking up. All of these mistakes cause damage, but your transmission will actually warn you before it gives out completely if you know what to listen for. Number 10. Ignoring the early warning signs. Ram transmissions do not just fail out of nowhere, they tell you what is coming. Delayed engagement is the most common sign. You shift from park to drive, and there is a 1 to 3 second pause before the truck moves. That is clutch packs slipping, and it only gets worse from there. Torque converter shutter shows up a lot in 1500s. You will feel a vibration between about 30 and 55 miles per hour under light throttle, like driving over rumble strips on the highway surface. Usually a fluid or software issue early on, but let it go and the damage spreads. For 2,500 and 3,500 owners, the telltale sign is RPM flare. The tachometer jumps, but the truck does not speed up. That is overdrive clutch slip, and once it starts, failure comes fast. And check your dipstick. Fresh ATF +4 is a clear reddish color. Dark brown or black with a burnt smell means damage has already happened. If your Ram drops into limp mode and locks into one gear, do not push through it. Get to a shop. If you want the full maintenance schedule for your specific Ram, that video is right here on screen. See you in the next one.